Doing all right. Doing all right. Getting a good start, a good solid start of the guitar again today. It's good to be here, and let me just fix my goggles so, get my chin strap on here and get ready and tuned up for another day in the world of guitar. Again, taking it easy here, just to not be in a rush, just to observe the metronome and all of its value in the underpinnings of our world of musical expression and practice and fortitude. There, good morning, good to see you. Good to see you here. Good to see everybody again. We are live today, and we are talking about, indeed, we are talking about guitar. We are talking about tuning up. We are talking about what we do every morning, every night before I finish with the guitar and I put it away. I'm sure to do this one thing first. I may as well do it now and share this little tidbit with you. You've got these beautiful lint-free cloths here. And what I like to do is I like to grab each string put the string between my fingers and then just drag that cloth up and down the full length of the string set. And that is done every time I touch a guitar. So I have these rags everywhere in my studio here, and everywhere there's a guitar, I store a rag that I can maintain my strings with, and then what we're doing is we're running up and down. We're collecting all of the oils that are released from the fingers. Collecting all of that stuff from the neck. I'm also wiping the back of the neck down on the guitar. That's what I do at the end of every practice, so that's why my guitar is likely out of tune most of the time and when I revisit the guitar. Just in case you're wondering, wow, this dude's guitar is just horrible because it can't even stay in tune from session to session. Well, that's partly the reason why, is because I do torture the strings a little bit. Actually, I think it's more like caring for the strings, and that's an important piece of what's going on, especially for, strings are great, fresh strings are great. I have friends, I don't know how you feel about, good morning, Marlon. How you doing, Dennis? Morning. We're all here shaking it up, changing the world one breath at a time and one guitar lick at a time. But if you're here, what we're trying to do is just get tuned up and ready for a day of adventure and a journey on the guitar. So sometimes my ears don't work as well. We had a howling wind and rainstorm last night, and sometimes the humidity will change the way we hear. I think barometric pressure can influence the way I don't know. This is all voodoo. This is stuff friends of mine talk about. I mean, it's guitar geek stuff. So, if you can't talk guitar geek here, then where can you talk guitar geek? I do appreciate, the likes. And let's see, welcome, good morning, UATR. Yeah, let me know if I am butchering it badly enough where you would like a phonetic correction. But, back to tuning. I want to get beyond this because we've got to start. We do have to get to some things this morning. I'm going to be here probably a little bit longer. The intent is to start at 7:30, you know, just so you know if you want to join me. Oh, yeah, thank you for the likes. It gets, yeah, all right, let's shred. I've got to put, I'm sort of still wearing my morning training wheels, but we are going to cover some ground today. First things first is getting the guitar back into, and I don't ever skip this part in these live sessions because I want to be sure that you're seeing exactly what actually goes on. I don't want to skip any parts just for the sake of, you know, satisfying, satiating the retention edit. You know, that's not really what any of this stuff is about. If you've been hanging out with me, you know that I'm, I can be a little on the boring side. So, and a little bit on the guitar geek side, the guitar voodoo side of things, and it's just from years of paying attention and communicating about the craft of playing the guitar with others and sharing those things. Please play Stairway, the Forbidden Song. Yeah, all right. Let's see if we can incorporate that somehow into the warm-up. So let's keep that. Let's go ahead because that's kind of setting the tone. We want to have the great morning, but we'll go ahead and set the tone with Stairway to Heaven, I think. There's a good chance we'll make reference to that during this warm-up sequence if we all keep thinking about it. Oh, yeah. I appreciate, I mean, maybe you heard, I forget which, I'm going to keep traveling along here, but I want to just check a couple of chords. The process of tuning, if you like the sound of that, then you're going to love our next song, right? So, are you familiar with the story of how Ravi Shankar was at I forget the name of the festival, but it was starting fingers 3 and 4 today. And I'm using 4 attacks per beat, using the metronome at 60 beats per minute. And I'm rushing a little bit already this morning, so I want to be sure that I am really observant of the metronome. So while we're carrying on about being observant, Ravi Shankar was at this famous festival, and part of the story was he was going on. It's the first time anyone had really seen a sitar in the West, and he gets doing his thing on the sitar, and then everybody in the audience is just completely like mesmerized by the sound. And after he completed, and everybody applauded after he just completed what he was doing, and he leaned in, I guess he leaned into the microphone or something. I haven't seen the footage. If you can get a chance to see the footage, somehow, it would probably be worth checking out the footage of Ravi Shankar tuning at this concert, or at this festival. So he leans forward after he gets done finishes his approach, and he leans forward to the mic and he says, "Thank you. If you like the sound of us tuning, you're really going to love the next song that we play." So I think it was something like that. And that always sort of stuck with me, that analogy or that metaphor or that lesson always stuck with me about tuning. The art of tuning is something that's not to be overlooked. And I have a lot of friends in my life, and maybe I've overlooked it with some of my students in the past, and I hope I didn't, because everybody seemed to be able to show up to lessons on time and in tune. If you do want to start these morning journeys with me, I am doing this 5 days a week for the next year, right? And then kind of crazy, I think, but and I'm come back to the downbeat. We drifted a little bit when I was giving you that analogy, that reference to Ravi Shankar during the tuning process. but now we're back on 60 beats per minute, and we're fully focused on 4 attacks per beat. 1 E and a 2 E and a T E and a banging da, right? So it's all just. Let's get down to position number 1, and then we'll work our way back up to position number, I think it's 11 by the time we get there. So we want to end with finger 2 on fret 12. And it's a long descend down there sometimes, and my tendency is to, and I'm sure it's a universal tendency, to try to rush through the stuff sometimes. I like the likes. I really do like the likes. I see that we've got 7 or something, 8. We did reach a milestone yesterday, so we probably should do a little celebrating of that. You know, we reached our first session where we had live stream session where we were able to we grabbed 20 likes. So that's kind of impressive to me. It was very impressive for a time, and I knew it was possible, and we realized it yesterday. So I'm just using fingers 3 and 4 again, so I don't want to drift too far away from being focused on exactly what I'm doing, because I'm working on my posture during these sequences. Hey Joe, morning. Eastside Marshalls. I'm gonna do that. Yeah, I would. Heavy bit of shedding, nice. It's a good thing, David. A-Web, so I miss playing guitar. You know, the guitar misses you playing the guitar too. Mako happy. Play some George Michael. Wow. That's a great idea. So we have some requests in with a pretty please, 100%, and a love. Let's get, if we can get up to like 100 likes. I don't know. This would be is that too much to ask? Like, what's a reasonable number to ask? We reached 20 yesterday. Do you want to reach 50 today? And then we'll start working on, by the end of this warm-up sequence, we'll start working on some George Michael. But we're thinking along this line. I've already used the stretch on fingers 2 and 3 and 4. Oh, yeah. I think that the hurting part is definitely a reality, and I think I'm personally working on this. During this journey, you're going to witness me trying to, clean up my diet, my literal intake of food, and just kind of get it. It's not unreasonable. It's not totally in the trash can, but I do, I was doing macrobiotic living for a while, and I never saw so clearly. I never felt so good. No body aches. I could run 9 miles a day and run right over the top of the guardrails to keep the cars on the road. And I was just like a little, I don't know, Springer Spaniel or something. And I see the 9th like. If we can get to 50 likes, I don't know, is 50 reasonable? I know that I didn't have any aches or pains or anything. I had to cut sugar, and I remember it took me, like, when I was cutting sugar for that macrobiotic approach to living, it was difficult. But after a month I think 3 months, I practiced it for 3 months, and literally my eyesight was super. My just super clean living, super clean eating, super clean lifestyle, and no alcohol consumption, no meat or whatever the macrobiotic way is. It's a really interesting discipline, and then it kind of helped me to think differently about my diet. And obviously, when you talk with people like David Sanchez, you see, like, there's no eating before performance time. An hour before performance time, he's not doing anything for consuming anything, because he doesn't want to be in the act of digestion while he's working on whatever he's trying to connect with on the piano or whatever. don't want to be distracted with digestion apparently. So tomorrow morning I'll probably try to, when we start tomorrow morning, I'm going to try to remember to come here I'm going to try to do a fast, continue with the fast. I won't break my fast until after this live stream. And then we can take a look at what that means, and if it's a different kind of live stream, if it's a different kind of, if I notice anything different about my tissue in my left hand, or I'm going to refer to the pick hand as pick hand, not right hand, because some of us are actually like, you know, left-handed guitar players, so I don't want to create any more confusion than there already might be in the world of guitar. So I'm always going to refer, oh look, I didn't even realize what's going on. I guess I'm using fingers 2 and 4. Now we've moved on to non-contiguous fingers. So we have fingers 2 and 4. I'm going to try to not stop. I'm going to try to keep the same tempo going. So, and I'm skipping two frets. So I'm going to try to not stop, so that if you are following along, you can actually just keep following along. And if you're not following along yet, just watch these videos off to the side at your own leisure. Pick up what you want from them. Come back and join all of us as we warm up together, right? So that's the whole point of this, is that we were literally going through the motions together. So once I start the warm-up cycle, you can just follow me. I'll try to keep up, and if there's any gap, mention the fingerings that we're using. You know, right now we're using 1 and 3. I'm on position 4, top of the guitar neck, descending 3 down to the bottom of the guitar neck, 2 2nd fret ascending, 1st fret descending 1 and 3 with this fret skip. So I'm using finger 1 is on a fret, and then finger 3 is on a fret that's 1, 2, 3 frets higher than it. So we're literally improving, missing the metronome here a little bit, so I'm talking too much. One of the things, one of the times at which point I will stop and correct myself is if I notice and I'm observant of venturing away from the metronome, because I don't want to mislead you and get you, because I'm assuming you're going to use the click from this video to practice along with, right? What I don't want to do is mislead you and have you following me off metronome. So, all right, let me just check in. I'm going to stretch, so I'm taking a look at the comments. Now's a great time to chat, folks. How to play guitar, let's see. How to play guitar, smooth chord changes. I just started playing guitar 2 months ago. Well, you're in the right place. Let's see, 666. That's kind of interesting. We got the guitar 2 months ago. You're in a good spot right now because all of the people here can, in the comments, so if you're reading if you're commenting, you're obviously reading the comments. But I wanted to draw attention to the comments because there are some really talented guitar players, guitarists that come and populate these live streams. And they're more than capable of offering, advice, and then open that discussion, I guess. Continue along with those discussions. So yeah, if you have input and you wanted to help, steer some of these conversations, that's great. We love it. And at least contribute. Let's get right back to that. I haven't picked up my guitar since August because of arthritis. Yeah, I got that a few seconds ago, and I wanted to talk a little bit about that because recommending LAB, New Hampshire, from New Zealand in the air. Wow. Wow. All right, cool. Thank you. Lefty here. Actually, easy watching right-hand player. It's like looking in the mirror. Oh, really? All right, so you are a lefty. All right, so let's continue on. Where are we at? We got all of the second, the third, and fourth fingers. We're still thinking Stairway to Heaven. We're still being observant of the metronome. We got second and third fingers done. We got first and second fingers done. We did the stretch. We didn't do the 2-fret stretch between the contiguous fingers. I think only because I'm some of us here are actually, we're actively working through my chord chemistry series right here on the channel. So it's probably worth doing these things. If you hear me saying in those videos, in any of those videos, especially the more recent ones, if you hear me saying I've been working these stretches to try to get some of these Ted Green chords in my chord chemistry, Ted Green's chord chemistry playlist right here at Jason Carey Guitar on YouTube. You can follow. I'd love for you to follow along. If you're not already following along, love to see you there too. It's another great way to interface and engage with some meaningful commentary. And there's some crazy good players that show up there too. It's just but you see right now I'm already suffering. I haven't moved very far away from the starting point, and my third and fourth fingers really don't want to stretch between 2 frets. They'll do they'll do the 1 finger skip or the 1 fret skip okay without much issue. But what we're doing is we're really asking a lot of these. So it's a good idea to take it a little slower and then, right, and just be more observant of what you're asking, because it's a new thing we're asking the hands to do. And so I'm not all that concerned about doing 16th notes again. Right now I'm trying to slow down time so I can be, again, we're going to use the words observant and devoted a lot here in this live stream, I would think. I can feel this not really working, so I've got to pivot. I'll end up jumping and then changing my body posture a little bit. I want to overall really try to avoid that, like, you know, ice cream as an extreme treat, you know. So I want to try to, you know, I'm really asking an extreme thing from my left hand here. So that's about all I'm going to do for that today, because I don't want to overdo it. But I am going slowly, and the slow is the key for me here. Just a 2 fret spread, and I think just doing it and visualizing it will help us to understand what we're actually, you know, whether we'll actually be able to do a split or not at some point. So this is another thing that is really kind of working the forearms, is working the arms a lot. So what I'm going to do is re-stretch one more time, and then we'll go ahead and get into the final chromatic approach of our warm-up section. And I think during this piece we can really reflect on the Stairway to Heaven harmony, and with the body aches and pains, I'm thinking the stretching is really an integral part. Once you warm up your body through, you know, warm up after 15 minutes, you know, it's generally a good idea to just do one of these things. If you're not doing these things yet, these things are great. And I'm going to take another minute here to be observant of my breath, my breathing. So oh yeah, back to David Sanchez for just a second, trip back to that. So he says, you know, he doesn't wear anything tight either. You know, he doesn't during performance or performance approach. Part of the approach is your wardrobe, right? And it's not always about looks, and it's not always about how you hold your hands up high when you're screaming your favorite line. It's not always about that drama. I mean, I think it's about comfort and removing friction wherever we can. So now we're going to talk about Stairway to Heaven. I'm not sure if we can... We're going to run through all of those notes as we descend, you go through this I'm going to try to be observant of all of these notes. And I'm going to try to highlight those notes so you can actually listen for them, right? And you can follow, if you're following along with me, we can go ahead and do this together. What's my tuning, Mr. Rass? What's going on? It's standard tuning. And, you know, most of the time I like to start by tuning the guitar. So if you're just jumping on, we're here 5 days a week for the next year, Monday through Friday, 7:30 a.m. start time. It's a warm-up session where we gather and we all warm up together, and we all do basically the same thing. And we're going to go through a metamorphosis, like a literal metamorphosis. I'm already personally experiencing gains from this program, and if you are too, we'd love to hear about that. If you aren't, we'd love to hear about that, and maybe we can help troubleshoot all of this stuff as we proceed together. So 4-finger wonder right here. and we're starting to talk about Stairway to Heaven. I want to hit all of those notes and highlight those notes. So I'm going to play all of these notes gingerly until here comes another one. I think, you know, it's kind of a challenge. I'm trying to get them in order, in sequence, but I don't think it's going to happen. Not all in one pass, and I think we're only going to take one pass in this. So we have, after this might be fun to talk a little bit about how to use that chord progression as a point of departure, so that we could use that solo, you know, that A minor major 9 over G sharp, A minor 7 over G, D minor or D major over F sharp, that F major 7 chord, and then the C with E in the bass. That whole chord sequence is something that we know. Some of us might know it as well as, you know, we know nursery rhymes, and we could actually solo over it, you know? I mean, I don't know if that's forbidden. I mean, the song is forbidden, at least in Wayne's World it was. So we're going to take a quick look. We're going to cycle through. We're starting to, you know, kind of work away. We're starting to get into tonic harmony and tonicization and movement and progression. And so what we're going to do is just continue going through that tonicization process. So I'm working through major scale sequencing. Now I've completed all of that chromatic work. You guys feel ready to do fives? You want to do groupings of 5? Hey, thanks, Ross. Appreciate it. We've got a new sub here. What do we do for new subs? We do welcome to the party, and we hope to see you again tomorrow and the day after. What we're going to do is we're going to say, let's take a look at the very first live stream we did on this channel, the vertical live streams that we're engaged with now. We're going to just make it real easy, low hanging fruit, low barrier for entry, no production value literally whatsoever except for light, you know what I mean? And that's about, and a guitar and a hat. I've got to have my little prop here. But I think we want to make it easy to access. We're going to take that first video that we did. We're going to, a year from now, we're going to combine, we're going to take the snapshot of the video from a year from now, and we're just going to compare the two and see what kind of, literally what kind of gains we made. We're going to do a whole analysis, and this is going to be a great opportunity for you to also perform that entire analysis on your playing. You're going to literally see the gain structure. You know, what do we make for mad gains here? Well, here, this kind of in the middle here somewhere, I got tired and dropped out a little bit. I'm not going to drop out. I'm going to do my best to actually be here 5 days a week. 130 hours from now, we're going to look at that video down the road, and we're all going to look at it and hopefully not laugh too hard. But I mean, you know, a good laugh is fun, and I'm okay with that. Pick up 2 cans of pineapple for. Good. All right. Let's talk about that a little bit. All right. So tonic harmony. We're moving into tonicization. Did all of that chromatic stuff. So we're using root note. And we all know that we're ascending from one root note from C, and this is the C major scale, position 7. And I'm going to go slowly because I know if you're here, hopefully you have a guitar. If you're here and you have a guitar, just smash the like button so I can kind of get a feel for how many people actually bring a guitar to this, or comment. You know, drop a line in the comment, and you could bring electric, acoustic. It's all going to work exactly the same. 12 string. You know, but if you are here with a guitar, I'd love to I'd love to think that we're playing along together. So we have 2, 4, 1, 2, 4, 1, 3, 4. So now what we're doing is we're on the root note above the octave, right? And apparently the octave actually rings 2 times faster than, you know, the octave higher, or 8VA. An octave above would be, you know, 2 times faster. An octave below, which we're not going to detune the guitar for, would be 2 times lower, right? My first time, but I'll have one tomorrow. Yeah, all right. Good. Joshua, Mr. Gray, thank you very much for the bringing the guitar along is great. I know this is, you know, it's not for everybody. What we're doing here right now is not for everybody. Sometimes I need that flashbang to kind of like wow me and think, and blind me, and then, you know, destroy my hearing for that moment. Wake me up a little bit, and I'm like, oh yeah, I'm watching some cool content, man. It's you know, there's almost none of that here. Unfortunately, I ran out of flashbangs, and but we can use the guitar and the following along approach, or the folk. What do you call it when people talk to other people and transfer information? Folk transfer. So we can just do that. So 2, 4, 1, and occasionally I'm going to use some tablature. I've got some free tablature, 1, 3, 4, that I'll talk about later, that people are really enjoying. So 4, stick around, Joshua, because you want to hear this. You want to be part of this. So root note, 4, 1, 2, or 3, 4, and then 2, 4 on the B string, and then 1, and then 2 on the high E string. That's the other octave, because this is a 2-octave scale. When we get to the octave, we always stop and take a minute and think about the glorious works of creation. And then we start there again, and then we continue to ascend, which is kind of like, you know, making a nice reference to that Stairway to Heaven. And I wanted to kind of, you know, just start there. There's so much to be done on this guitar that it's not even funny. But I think most of it is focused practice. And right now we're focusing practice. So when we descend, we do the same thing. Excuse me. And then we'd have just ascend. If you guys want tablature for this entire piece of the workout, I think you're all set with the, you know, the chromatic stuff. But if you want this entire you know, what is it? So we're doing the cycle 4 sequence. I can throw the tabs up on the we can deliver it to you for free if you'd like it. Just let me know in the comments, and I'm happy to shoot a link into the next one, so you guys can learn all of the sequencing and practice along as we start to progress through this program. What do you think of the scales and arpeggios Jerry Garcia played in many of his songs? It's very individualized, I noticed. That's another great. This is another great point. You know, these are the kinds of conversations we want to remain engaged with right here. If you feel like yourself, you know, if you're enjoying the content, smash the like button, but also share it with your friends, because if they're guitar players, they'll likely enjoy passing this kind of time together. But we're all sort of like that Jim Hall and Ron Carter album. We're all like alone together, right? It's kind of a really wild, you know, social arrangement, sort of agreement that we have going on here. But we're alone together, and those sheet music binders can kind of bring us together to the same, you know, place. So I'm going to continue working through this. I think I am going to just get a sheet music binder together and deliver this. So let me run it, and then you can look for the link to that in my YouTube community page. I don't know, you guys checking out my the community, is that useful to you at all? I think rather than send you to a website every time and kind of, I think it's, you know, it could be easy to just kind of say, here, I'll give you the link, and it's going to always, the links that I'm mentioning are always, you just scroll through the community page, and that'll give us a, you know. So I'm right now, and then I started, stopped on the root note all the time. Now we're looking at F major scale. kind of like a spelling bee, and I have to remind myself I want to tonicize the area first with a chord. So that's the B flat major 7 sound, and then I'm going to ascend it and then descend it. We could also do that B flat major there. I like that B flat major 7 there. It's kind of cool for this kind of thing. This keeps us in the position, you know. And then E flat major 7. So we're going to use maybe this shape. You know, that's kind of a reasonable place to be. Starting here. Don't have any root note on the top, but I do come back to it on the descent. There it is. Start and stop. And then we'll play the chord again. A flat major 7. And we'll start right here, right in the middle of the position. Oh. Starting and stopping. Drawing attention to the root note. Yeah, for our own benefit and the audience. The audience likes to know where they are too, right? And we don't want to leave them guessing. You know, some of us we all appreciate, you know, musical experience in different levels, different places. You know, our appreciation levels are all different. And, you know, so if you play into the audience, maybe we want to just stick to the, you know, C major pentatonic scale, and then you know, play stuff that we can all enjoy and all understand. So that's where this is it's common ground for all of us. Is warm-ups are sort of a universal program, and at least these are, which we'll just keep pushing through, starting and stopping on the root notes wherever we can. So, and sometimes we can go beyond the root note. But return back to the root note. But for the sake, and then so that was the D flat major 7. Now we're working G flat major 7. So we'll start with that G flat major 7 chord. So if you have a musical pattern or an idea that sometimes it takes a little more time to get back to the root note, you know, then that's where we sort of learn how to create and use musical tension, you know, for the point, you know, for the sake of our improvisations or our melodic journeys. That, you know, let's say we're writing a melody for a vocal line for a song that we're composing. Flat major 7, right up through this cycle 4 sequence. And then we're on B, right back where we started from. So let me show you this up to speed. This is up to speed now. I'm going to use, what model guitar is that? Hey, that's a good question. A7, play the land of A7. Oh yeah, we're going to get for sure to A7. We've got some other things that we're working, we've got Stairway to Heaven in our minds at the moment. Got some George Michael Christmas coming. I think I'd like to get to 20 likes. Maybe we've got a couple more things there. Can we get to 50 likes today? Does that make sense? Probably not, because I'm running a little bit over. I'm just gonna, you're welcome to hang. I'm gonna stick around here for a few more minutes because I'm not totally finished with my warm-up sequencing yet. We've been doing a lot of talking, and I enjoy that as well. So I'm not in a rush. Let's say, what model guitar is it? So it's the Martin DX2E. It's you know, it's a banger of a guitar. I mean, it's one of those things you can play every day and really enjoy it. So I'm going to use 5 quintuplets. Quintuplets. All right, so I'm going to use groups of 5 attacks per beat, which means every other downbeat my pick is going to be, we're going to begin at a different picking sequence. So we're going to start the first sequence of 5, or matrix of 5. or group of 5 with a downstroke. And then the second group of 5 is going to be the upstroke. Dugga dugga dig, dugga digga dig, da 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 da, and then da da da. So there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So this kind of work helps to balance our right hand. It gives us that smooth feel that we're looking for. Plus we gain another rhythmic, another bit of rhythmic vocabulary this way, which is what we're looking for sure. Fun fact, guitar players make good boomerang throws. Yeah, they do. Thanks, David. Yeah, Mr. Kendall. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 1, 2, 3. So there's that. So it's a completely different approach because there's another note to deal with, and we got to take a little bit of a longer way around, you know. So quintuplets, or whatever you call it, 5 notes, 5 attacks per beat is pretty awesome. It's a pretty awesome thing to practice, and for sure love it. Let's take a look. You make me want to play guitar again. Yeah, do it. Yeah, why not? It's this makes me want to play guitar again. The thought of coming to this point every morning with a little bullet to coffee, you know, the mocha pot. I've been making mocha pot coffee, you know, stove top espresso, and I just love it. And to come down here and hang out, I'm going to practice anyway. And we may as well practice together and just take a little breather and shoot the breeze. Some of our practices are going to be more focused than others, I think. I'm still working on tonicization. I want to go through the 3 note per string major scales, right? If you don't mind, we'll just do that real quick. So we have 1, 2, 3, and I'm starting with G major scale because we've got to, you know, the guitar has, you know, has all those open strings, and then 2 of those open strings are D and G, which is the 5 and the root note, or the, you know, the dominant and tonic of the G chord. And then it's just like, that's why so many people use, like, I know how to play B flat here, but you know, I want to hear the open strings, so I'll just snap a capo on here, and then I'll have those open strings that I can just let ring, you know how that goes. And it's just about stepping on the gas, you know. So I'll take a look at the key of G. We're thinking fret 2, so 2, 3, 4, 2, 3, 5, 2, 3, 5. And I've got 3 notes per string. I'm going to run out of these, what is it, 2, 3, 5. So it's, let me use finger numbers here. 1, 2, 4. 1, 2, 4, 1, 3, 4, 1, 3, 4, and then I'm shifting a position up because the next note in the G major scale, this 3 note grouping, is going to be, it's going to be 1, 3, and it's going to be up on position 3. Fingers 1, 3, and stretch the 4th finger up to fret number 7, and you won't have any problem with that 4th finger because when you're following along here, the 1, 2, 3, 4 warm-ups that we do in every day are going to make these fourth finger requests seem like, you know, butter. And who doesn't like butter? I'm going to talk a little bit less about butter healthy options. You know, looking for, you know, maybe reduce some of that in my life. See what that does for my playing. You know. So 1, 2, 3. Oh no. Let's do scale degrees now. So 7, 1, 2, 3. These are all four scale tones as they relate to the root note G. They're all scale tones as they relate to G. So this is a 7, a 1, a 2, a 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 1. Right, and then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 1, 2 and 3. And we should, since we set it all the way up, we should descend saying that. So we have 3, 2, 1, 3, 2, 1, 4, 2, 3, 2, 1, 7, 6, sorry. 3, 2, 1, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 7, 1. Right, so that's, yeah, let's play guitar again, Asri. Yeah, let's do it. Good idea. Wonderful idea. All right, so that was second position. Starting in third position. You can hear a lot of these kinds of chords and the Friday night, I don't know, anybody heard Friday Night in San Francisco record with John McLaughlin, Al Di Meola, Paco de Lucia, crazy good record. So if you haven't heard, I think it's Friday Night in San Francisco. Get your ears on it. Let me know what you think. I think you'll like it. I think you'll enjoy it. So let's talk about this one a little bit. So we have Phrygian mode, right? We're still kind of working on G. This is interesting stuff right here. So B minor, we're working on Phrygian. So Ionian, Dorian, Phrygian, Lydian, Mixolydian, Aeolian, Locrian, and back to Ionian again, or you know, the root note. So we have Phrygian 1, flat 2, flat 3, 4, 5, flat 6, flat 7, and 1. 1, flat 2, flat 3, 4, 5. Let's see. 1, okay, flat 3, 4, 5, flat 6, flat 7, 1, flat 2, flat 3, 4. So we have these patterns show up, manifest, you know, differently as we ascend. So the patterns do change. So in order to conform to the scale, the notes of the G major scale. So we have the C major 7 here, right? This would be the scale, a good chord to use for that. Oh, got to know that I'm a huge Metallica guy, right? Yeah, back in the day, it was like, yeah, master, master. Yeah, let's do it. I do want to do that song. I think are we setting a record for likes? Yesterday we reached 20 likes, and we want to break that pattern here today. I don't know. Do we want to break that? Do we want to go through another ceiling of likes today? And then I've got the Aeolian mode. Can I reach it? I can reach it because I'm going to remove that thumb from the back of the guitar neck. It's a little bit more disciplined. But we can do it. And then I'm going to play the Locrian mode again, which is where we started an octave lower. We might need to use, I might not use the fourth finger so much above the fretboard. But if I train myself to do it, it would probably be in my best interest, because there is going to come a time where I want to have access to this range of the instrument, this extreme range, and I want to know how to handle it when I get there. So. I'll clean up that technique because I don't want to iron any wrinkles into the shirt, you know what I mean? It does ask more from us when we do that kind of stuff on the guitar, and the extreme ranges of that, especially the acoustic with no cutaway on it. We just lose all of that access. Even if we had a cutaway, we could rotate our hand up in there, but we're still losing that axis of power here with that thumb being the pivot point, playing the median between, the fretboard hand fingers. So here's, if we can do that Bo Diddley beat, I think we can play that George Michael song real quick. So it's 60 beats per minute. So that's what happens when we don't have access to the top part of the fretboard, right? You know what I'm going to do? I'm going to teach that song on, I'm going to produce a lesson for that song so we can start talking a little bit about the Bo Diddley beat, because it's a staple of a rhythmic pattern. Now, what is Master of Puppets? How does that sound? How does that start? I forget how that starts. Master, let's take a look, of Puppets. It says it's playing in my kitchen. I don't want to do that. I want to hear it right here. Let's see. Bear with me for one moment. Well, let's see. If you're still here, if I haven't dropped you, I'm looking for the Master of Puppets intro. Oh yeah, so it's... Oh yeah, so it's just descendant. It's kind of similar to what we were doing with our warm-ups, right? The introduction anyway is let me get back and check here and play. Oh, I think I lost this. I hope I'm not keeping you. I'm going a little bit over today, and I am feeling like we need to all move on and do our next thing. But Master of Puppets is one of those. It's one of those tunes that it just doesn't quit. So I'm just kind of working off of memory. I'm not even sure that this is totally accurate. So we're using power chords 7 and 9, and just kind of riding the lightning here with the low E string, boom, boom, right? So it's just... that is how that proceeds, right? And I hope if you want, this video will be live later on. It will come back and it'll be available for your review. So if you're just popping on, we're doing this warm-up sequence every day, 5 days a week for 1 year. And I will see you again tomorrow at 7:30 a.m. How's that sound? And any questions between now and then, you can hit me up on the YouTube, our community page, and right here on YouTube, Jason Carey Guitar. Thank you very much for attending this morning. We all did a great job, and let me just go through and make sure that I'm not missing anybody here. So Dennis, we had Dennis, Marlon, UATR, Eastside Marshals, Joe, Lefty, and then Eastside Marshals, Dave Kendall, Mako Happy. Hopefully you stuck around for the George Michael stuff, and David Kendall. So midnight here in Sydney. Oh, great. Oh yeah, I missed that part, right? Trips. And we talked about how to play guitar, smooth chord changes. I just started playing 2 months ago. We did get away from that a little bit, and I did 666. I did want to say this is a great place to be. I wanted to remind us this is a good place to be and ask those kinds of questions, because we're going to cover those kinds of things as we proceed through this whole program of 20, 5 days a week. Let's see. First time will be Land of A. Oh, the land of A7. All right. Skinny F's, we missed that. We'll get back. We'll definitely get to that in a future live stream. We're going to cover all of those areas of goodness. And the model of guitar we get covered. This is one of the Martin DX2Es, and it's a wonderful guitar. I'll put a link in the YouTube community. So if you do want to take a look at the guitar, you want to get one for yourself. They're relatively inexpensive, and they're a great workhorse guitar. Just sounds good, plays great. Just get it set up. You want to play guitar. I really appreciate all of these comments, and then you please, Master of Puppets, dude, did it, and we're going to continue to do it. I'll put a whole video together for you. And any other questions? If you don't have any other questions, I'm going to let you go for this morning, and I'll see you tomorrow morning at 7:30. These are only supposed to run for half an hour, right? See you same bat time, same bat channel, right here on YouTube at Jason Carey Guitar. Take a look at the live stream tomorrow morning. We'll see you then. Bye. Oh, until we meet again, happy picking.